People who had parents that knew you were gay trans, or did they say that made them know or suspect it? I'm a couple months away from becoming a parent. But I always remember the first time I ever heard about homosexuality. Not literally. But I remember I was a young boy and some guy on the playground explained to me that some men are attracted to other men. The first thing that I thought was, oh, that's my brother. I can't say that there was anything he said or did specifically. I just knew. When he eventually came out to me years later, I literally almost laughed because he was so nervous and sincere when he sat me down and told me, and all I could say was, dude, I know. I've always known. My bonus daughter came out as trans 2 years ago. Her dad and I were shocked. We honestly always figured she was gay or asexual. Once she came out and started her transition journey, we looked back and kicked ourselves that we didn't notice that she was always so uncomfortable in her own skin as her assigned at birth gender. You're everyone while we were shocked and spent many conversation wondering how we missed it and how we could have done better before she came out. We have celebrated her since the moment she clued us in. I'm the guy that my parents thought was gay and wasn't, with long luxurious hair, having female and LGBT friends, being a fan of the Spice Girls, enjoying crafting hobbies like sewing and beading, working at a fabric store, not dating at all in high school, etc., etc., etc. All that made them suspicious. Dad breathed a mighty sigh of relief when I introduced him to my first girlfriend, who, coincidentally, I met at the fabric store, where we bonded over our shared love of crafting. Mum to a non-binary ace-aro person and AMTF person. I was a little surprised when my oldest came out as possibly trans, but figured out that they were happier as non-binary. The ace-aro thing was so not a surprise though. They have never been interested in other people in that way. My youngest was a little more unexpected. But looking back, she always chose female characters in video games and was really into My Little Pony for a while. I'm just here to support them on their journey, wherever it goes. A friend of mine sat his parents and siblings down after finally building up the courage. He was worried how they would react and whether he might be disowned or it might create tension with some of them. After he told him, our response was essentially ... okay. You realize we've all known that for years, right? He thought he had been super careful and subtle and all that. When he told me, I just burst out laughing because he's very ... flamboyant. My nephew, who I raised for a good part of his life, was adorable when he was small. He would come into my room when I was doing my hair and makeup and watch me intently. He also loved flowers and gardening. That doesn't make a kid likely to be gay, but you just feel it. When he came out, it was almost like he was disappointed at how little we were shocked. We said we know. It doesn't change anything. We love you, and we always will. My brother is trans, and we all knew the whole time, but honestly I couldn't really tell you why. Like, obviously he didn't care for feminine clothes, but I know girls that don't dress feminine, and it wasn't like that. I have no idea. I just know that when he came out to us, it was just like, yep, we know. We love you exactly the way you want to be, and that was it. I'm a mom of a kid who came out as gay at age 13, and it wasn't surprising. I had first suspected it when he started using my nail polish and developed a big interest in MLP, but it was all but confirmed when I walked into his room and found chatting online naked with another naked boy. It was like 6 months afterwards that he came out to everyone at once. I have a teenage son that I know is gay, but he hasn't come out to me or my wife. You know your kids. For every parent that is shocked about, there's probably 100 other parents that knew pretty early on. He'll tell us when he's ready. We've made it abundantly clear to our children that we honestly don't care. Just want them safe and happy. I asked my dad to replay the scene where Cameron Diaz flips her hair in the mask like 4 times. And then I asked my mum to replay the scene where Kate Winslet looks up from under her hat in the Titanic a few times. And don't get me started on my obsession with Nicole Kidman in Practical Magic, or Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman. I'm straight, but my mum knew I was gay apparently. I found this out when I was 18 and sat her down to tell her I was moving out. She started crying before I could even start talking and later confessed she thought I was going to finally come out. She's super girly girl and just couldn't compute that I wasn't. My mum and I had a chat one time when I was a bit down and she told me, in a different time age I might have entered into a gay relationship with a close family friend. It was only afterwards that I realized she was telling me that it was okay by her if I was gay. My mum didn't know. She just went into my room and found a note a friend had given me that I hadn't had a chance to read yet. It was in my little electronic safe that you can only get the key and combination for by solving Resident Evil style puzzles. Fuck you, Mom. I grew up with a gay brother. I knew he was gay before my fresh out of college 5th grade teacher made me feel a certain kind of way. The better question is how you wouldn't know. TBH with ya. I didn't even know what sexuality was. And I knew that dude was different. My dad said he always knew. I was a tomboy sporty, just fundamentally disinterested in skirts or dolls, which might today read more of a gender thing than a sexuality thing, but yeah. I turned out to be gay and pretty androgynous. Pie. They said they've known since Attack of the Clones. I had a massive obsession with Padme and Anakin, and they knew I had a crush on both of them. Waited until I figured it out myself and told them to say nothing. Thought I had free reign to take the Victoria's Secret catalogue since I had a built-in excuse. Turns out having 6 of them under your bed still raises some eyebrows and leads to an awkward conversation. I wonder how many responses you'll get that don't just boil down to, I didn't behave in ways that fit arbitrary gender norms that aren't even accurate or helpful to begin with. It's kinda the opposite. But I asked my mother what a slingback was, and she looked me right in the eyes and told me I was a disappointment of a gay child. I was always way more into dressing up like a girl even from the age of like 3-4. My parents, they always had suspicions even from that age. I'm neither. My parents suspected because I wasn't into cars or trying to second base girls as soon as I hit puberty. We had no idea of our biological son, but our foster son. Drama, it's like living with David Rose. Bisexual, they knew with Eek how I acted and stuff I was interested in. My stepfather said he knew when I bought my first pair of Doc Martens. My wife kissed a girl in daycare when she was 5 years old. Apparently it was how I acted around my female friends.